Join us as we sit down with remarkable individuals from various walks of life who face their fair share of obstacles and emerged with positivity. Each episode, you'll hear inspiring stories, actionable tips, and wisdom that can supercharge your own journey when using adversity as motivation.
All right, numbskulls, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Hello, and welcome to another edition of Lauer Power, where we focus on using adversity as motivation. Alongside Chad Lauer, I am Chad Evans. Great to be with you, with a guest in the house, Chad.
Yeah, great to be with you again, Chad. And, you know, I think today we're going back a little bit to our original mission, which is having a positive impact in the town of Shamokin, but also on the coal region. So super excited to have Dave Tamkus with us today. Partner.
Say hi, Dave.
Hi, everybody.
The camera's on you.
Look at that.
Sorry to interrupt you, Chad.
No, you're good. I love it. We're having a little bit of a fun episode today. You know, I think our podcast has gotten deep at times, so I think we're able to show our personality right today. So, and you guys are partners in Shamokin Shirt Company, correct?
That's correct.
So
yeah.
tell me a little bit about Shamokin Shirt Company. How did the idea come about, and what are your goals of the company?
Sure. Shamokin Shirt Company happened about a year and a half ago officially. But as a graphic designer, I started making shirts and designs for shirts focused in Shamokin a few years ago. Chad and I got to talking, and we just thought, what does Shamokin need? And, needs some pride. And how do you get that? Well, people always look to the past and started coming up with some old places that aren't around anymore. I would imagine logos or kind of do something close to the original logo and just put it out there for people to buy. It evolved from there to other fun things about Shamokin, like some of the cool Speak shirts that we have, and then, just some fun things about Shamokin.
Yeah, I think it's okay to poke fun at Shamokin. I think that's okay to do. And we like to do that through the means of shirts and mugs and hats and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, and here's the deal, right? Like, you can go on there and there's a history, right? So you poke fun of it, but Dave, you also mentioned that there's some places that, don't exist anymore. So why don't you guys highlight some of those places that, you've created apparel for?
First that comes to my mind is the Victoria Theater. Other than that, Sunray Drugs, Wolf's Department Store, Khan's Garden is a popular one.
Chad, do you know Khan's Garden?
I need help with Khan's Garden. I know the others.
I'm a little too young for Khan's Garden. However, I heard the legend of Khan's Garden. It is right in the vicinity where the Knights of Columbus is now. It was a local little watering hole that had some entertainment.
Risque entertainment.
Ah, okay.
If you catch my drift.
About what year was this?
I think it was up to the early 90s. I know people who aren't much older than me that were in there.
As entertainers or to be entertained, Dave?
To be entertained.
Okay. All right. So I'm just looking, and there's some, okay. So what other highlights? I mean, there's so much apparel here. I'm looking at Al's Corner, various places that existed in Shamokin. What other highlights do you have there?
Well, I know we have like Amity House.
Amity House was a popular one.
Yeah.
Just the normal Hobart shirt is a popular one as well.
Winner all the time. Soupies. We have the Soupies.
Yep. Hang 'em High Soupies is another good one.
The Fun Shop. I think you might have mentioned that.
I didn't mention Fun Shop, but Fun Shop was definitely a popular one.
You know the Fun Shop, Lauer.
Of course.
Yeah.
Explain to the listeners who maybe aren't from the area what a soupy is.
I don't know if we have that kind of time, but go ahead.
I know quite a bit about soupy making. Soupy is Italian supersada. It's a cured pressed pork treat. It's made in the wintertime around these parts, hung for a few months to cure, and then eaten all year round.
Yeah, and that's a delicacy, right? I mean, even when I would I lived in the Lehigh Valley, I'd be like, you never had soupy? And they're like, what the heck is soupy, right? So it's pretty cool, like to take that culture with you. And, it's really tastes like a better version of pepperoni to me, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Definitely better.
Now,
It's definitely better than pepperoni.
Are you allowed to sell soupies, or is that still a thing?
There are
can
some
of worms.
places that do sell them.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a soupy stand that comes around to the different festivals, and you can buy them at some other establishments.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I mean, they're around.
All right.
But usually it's like, hey, I got a guy.
That's what I mean.
And you
Yeah.
have a soupy guy.
Yeah. It's kind of like the bookie, and now you can just, gamble on your phone, right?
That's okay. We'll put it that way. That's a fair assessment. Okay, good deal. Good deal. But yeah, with the whole Shamokin Shirt Company thing, it started off really, really well, and then people started thinking it was like fake, and this wasn't really from around here. Like through social media, and stuff, they were like, I don't know, you guys aren't really from here, or this company isn't really from here. Well, joke's on you. We actually are
Born and raised.
Born and raised here. I was born on the outside of Shamokin, RD2 Shamokin. That's where I was born. So I was Southern Columbia School District. And so I'm not, I mean, I have a Shamokin address. I'm just not technically from Shamokin.
No, I hear you. I mean, listen, I'm from Shamokin on the weekends. I tell everybody, lived above Tiff's Lounge on the weekends. Yeah. That's as Shamokin as it gets.
Yeah.
Would go over to Wendy's, for dinner.
And you didn't partake into Tiff's Lounge.
Here's the deal. I can say this now. Is Tiff still open?
No,
it's not.
All
right?
So
it is not.
Here's what a typical day looked like on the weekend of a kid. Anyway, like me and Shamokin. I would get up and we'd go to breakfast at the bar, and you'd start just sitting at the bar. We would probably watch hoops. I'd eat those like orange fries in the bag. Do you remember what those were called? I can't remember what they were called, but they were
hot
like,
fries. Andy hot fries.
You got it.
Yeah.
What were they called?
Andy's hot fries.
I would have Andy's hot fries all day.
Andy was a hell of a guy.
Yeah, I mean, they were in those blue bags. They were orange. Every bar had them hanging there. And I would sit and I would talk sports and I'd watch sports. And my dad would drink beer and I would gamble, and you had to sign the book. If you didn't sign the book, you weren't there. Like, it doesn't matter. You could have spent all day, but if you didn't sign the book, you weren't there, right? So I think a lot of folks probably have that memory of growing up in town, and that's how I spent my weekends, which is why, I'm such a sports fan, and I have fond memories of the Indies, the Home Plate, Tiffany's, East End Fire Company, trying to think of what else, but that's where I spent most of my weekends in town.
What about Bunker Hill?
Listen, who didn't spend time on Bunker Hill if you were playing baseball? And Ferndale.
Darn right. You ever get into a beer league?
I
never did the beer league.
Never in a beer league. I was a spectator at some, but never played.
Yeah. You're a part of the beer, not so much of the league.
That's correct.
I understand.
What other coal region traditions are there that we're missing? I mean, we hit soupy.
Holy cow.
We hit soupy. We hit, how you spent the weekends. We hit Bunker Hill. What else? What are we missing?
Well, we're cruising down Independence Street.
Dude.
Rolling with my homies.
Who didn't go cruising? I mean, I was cruising. You'd turn around at the, you'd turn around at the post office, right?
Sure, yeah.
There's usually a fight brewing,
If it's a good night.
It's a good night. There's a couple fights brewing, and everybody had their own corner, right? And their own apparel that they wore, and you were with that group,
Yeah. I don't know. There's a lot of things, obviously, like you have your conies still, and you still have the cruise-ins. They still do that, which is really nice. They still have, the fire companies with bars. It's still there, still. Dahosies. Yep.
Did you watch the cold drop?
I went 1 year.
I was there quite a bit.
I didn't miss any cold drops as a kid.
No?
Never.
You're an avid cold dropper.
Avid cold dropper.
No kidding.
I know in the late 80s, I think I remember when it started, and I went for a few years in the 90s. I haven't been there in a long, long time.
Yeah, it's past my bedtime.
Did you swim at Rock Street Pool? I wasn't the rich kid at Edgewood. So everybody listening, like Rock Street was where I grew up swimming. You might have had some things floating in the water.
I was at Rock Street as well. We probably crossed paths
Listen,
before.
I have a lot of good friends who were Edgewooders, but to us, like if you were at Edgewood, you were just a different level, you know?
Yeah.
Rock Street was where it was at. Now, does Rock Street still exist?
Yes, it does. My son's a lifeguard there.
Exactly. That's awesome.
When you go out to the weekends, Chad, you got to take a look around a little bit more. There's a lot of things happening.
You know what's funny is the only time, like I have family in the Fifth Ward, but the only time I go down there anymore is to get James's.
No, that's fair enough.
Yeah.
That's a destination.
What else do we need to do to go there more? We need to invest in the Fifth Ward a little bit.
You want to take that on? How much money do you have?
What are you trying to say, man? I'm just saying James's is still there. That's the only reason I go down there. I mean, what else is anybody going down there for?
Well, I mean, you know, you have your restaurants, but yeah, a lot of it is the AOA park.
Yeah, I mean,
you know, from the outside looking in.
Yeah. No, and I've seen paths right there that come off there. I went to Transfig as a kid. That's where I went to preschool, and I mean that's where I went there to preschool. So I mean, I used to hoop right there at the basketball courts. You know, I used to bowl. Is the bowling alley open?
Nope, bowling alley's not open.
Okay, so I used to go down that way, go up over the hill to go bowling.
What, Crownies is closed?
Yeah,
That's been closed for a while?
a couple of years, yeah.
Lauer.
Dude, let's start a bowling alley.
Let's start a bowling alley and league.
It's the lanes have to still be there, right?
I would imagine.
It's the building's still there. Yeah.
Tamkus, get us in touch with who it is. I'm in.
I'll do
And
some
then
research.
if you come to our bowling alley, you have to drive through the Fifth Ward. You're not allowed to come on 61.
Oh, you have to go that way.
That's the rule.
That's the rule?
Yeah.
To get the full experience.
Yep.
Okay. That's fair. But AOA is kicking. A lot of organizations, like, you know, you have Rotary down there and you have Sabre. You have a lot of good people trying to do a lot of good things in the coal region. It takes time. You know, right now, Shamokin is going through that, the home rule thing, right? Is that
study commission.
The study commission, right? And I don't understand the whole home rule thing. I know I asked you a zillion times about it, but I really don't know too much about it. Do you know what the home rule is all about? I should read the paper.
I would say that I know a little bit about it. You know, right now, Shamokin's in Act 47. They've been for quite a bit, and it's come to the end of the term where they're going to have to be financially solvent on their own without Act 47. Act 47 enabled them to raise the EITC tax a little bit to get more money to operate. And now we're at the point where it's going to be on the ballot here soon to vote for a home rule study commission to have folks form a commission to evaluate the city and its finances and see what they recommend. One of the options would be to for them to draft a charter to become home rule, which would allow the city to continue to raise the same amount of taxes as collect the same amount of taxes that they've always collected since they've been in Act 47. It sounds like if that is not voted, there's some potential for things to get cut, like the swimming pool, Rock Street pool, or the police department, because the city is going to come in and they're going to have somebody from the state rather come in and make those cuts.
Everything's run like a business. It should be, right? I mean, the city's a business. So what do we do when a business doesn't want to make more money, meaning raise the taxes, because that's your biggest revenue growth, and you just keep cutting and cutting and cutting for what, 30 some years? If not, I don't know how long they haven't raised the property tax.
Yeah.
What do you do?
Yeah, I mean, listen, there's only two ways to balance a budget, right? And we can use this at our homes, we can use it at our business, and you can use it in government. And, one is to cut expenses and the other one is to increase revenue. And I'm a huge believer, and listen, everybody's different. I'm a big believer in increasing revenue. That's how I think you can easily fix some of these problems, right? So, and personally, I believe the same thing. So some people will disagree with me, right? I'm never the one, I'm drinking a coffee right here. There are people who would never spend $3.50 on a coffee because it doesn't fit their budget, right? I'm one that says, I like coffee. I'll find a way to make an extra $3.50, right?
Sure, but not everybody's like that.
Not everybody's like that, right? But I think we need to challenge each other, right? And I think that in local government, we can challenge each other to think about things a little differently, right? And we could come together with a solution. But you have to raise taxes. It just has to happen. I don't care what that area looks like. You need to increase revenue. Listen, I'm not saying you need to max it out every year, but we're talking like years and years and years.
A long time.
Not increasing revenue to be able to produce what needs for the local area to thrive. Now,
And look what's happened.
there's other ways to do that too. You know, it's not just increasing taxes, it's recruiting businesses. You know, it's recruiting somebody to come in. There's a transition, and this isn't the only coal region town dealing with this, but there's needs to be a transition plan. You know, we're moving away from coal. We're talking about this like decades later.
Yeah.
You know, like enough is enough. So, yeah, I mean, that's the only way I know how to do it.
I just don't think there's a strategy.
No. So what is it?
I don't know. You know, Dave, he's going to be running for mayor real soon.
I don't know about that.
We appreciate that. Should we just announce it now on the podcast that Dave's going to be mayor? No, I'm kidding, of course. But he thought about it. Don't act like you didn't. Come on.
No, I don't think
Dave would make a great mayor.
He would, yeah.
He'd make a great mayor.
He would, absolutely.
Well, what needs to be done? Dave, do you have the answers?
I don't have many answers. I mean, I think just instilling a sense of community pride back into town. I mean, that's part of what Shamokin Shirt Company wanted to do, is just, you know, have people think about how cool it was in the past and hopefully inspire them to do something better for the future. You know, I hope to be making shirt designs here in 30 more years with Shamokin, and hopefully there's some cool stuff and cool logos of things that are going to happen that I can make 30 years from now.
Yeah, I hope so too. We have to do something, right? Something's got to happen.
Yeah, yeah, and listen, I think part of our podcast and what we're talking about to date is like, you know, I've actually seen other areas go through revitalization, so I have a little bit of a roadmap. One of them is Northern Liberties and the Fishtown area in Philadelphia, which was North Philadelphia. Anybody that's familiar with the area, there's now a casino there, et cetera. But, you know, they did like little things. Now they're known for like millennials and yuppies and hipsters and all this other stuff, because they really changed the dynamics of the town through exactly what you're talking about, like that pride. So there's a group of people who, they don't want to live in the suburbs and they don't want to move out of their town, right? They want to stay put, but they want to be proud of it. But it requires very, very heavy investment, you know? And I'm not going to name names, but like I know people who've, you know, been involved in town and invested millions of dollars into projects, and you can't even tell what they've done, you know? I think that, in my opinion, in my realm of things, private business is a place to start. I don't think we can wait on public funding anymore. And I think that, you know, when you take care of your porch, as they say, and you paint your house and you take care of your landscaping, it makes your neighbor want to do the same, you know, and it creates that sense of pride. Like, man, like I'm proud of the block I live on. I'm proud of, you know, where I live. And I think that slowly but surely we're starting to see some of that happen. And eventually, you know, throw a little gas on that fire and look out. We can start moving in the right direction.
I don't have the answers. I'm not going to pretend to have the answers. I know I said on a podcast, maybe we just start with a bucket of paint and see where it goes from there. But, and that'll be right up Dave's alley, because Dave's a painter and he's really good.
I do like to throw
You have
paint
many
around.
murals in the city.
Hand-painted signs. No, I didn't get involved in any of the murals. That was some other folks who did a great job at those. But I did paint. If you go on Lincoln Street near City Hall, I painted the backdrop behind the 9/11 memorial.
Oh, yeah.
I've done some hand-painted signs at the Santa letter drop-off, the Shamokin City map, and plenty other things around town.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Dave's the best at that. So if you got anything going around in the coal region and you need a graphic designer, you know where to go.
Well, I appreciate that. I do know my way around graphic design.
And I get a finder's fee of 25%. Use promo code Chad told me.
Yeah, there you go. I like that one.
So what do you think, Lauer?
So I want to highlight the good. You know, let's
There's
talk about
plenty
some
of
of the
good.
good, right? Like
Yes.
we're talking about things that need to happen. I think we're talking about, you know, some of the struggles, which we all know. And in previous podcasts, you guys have known, I've talked about like being in the trenches, right? When you're in the trenches with somebody and you come through it, it's like, man, that's just the greatest feeling in the world. So right now we're all in the trenches trying to figure that out. But let's highlight some of the great things about, you know, the coal region in Shamokin. What else do we have?
First and foremost, one of the great things about the coal region is it's centrally located. Like you can get to wherever you need to be in 2.5 hours, right? I mean, we're close to State College. We're 3 hours away from New York City, 2.5 away from, you know, Philly, 2:45 away from Baltimore. I don't know how it works. But to me, to live in this area where we're so close to all the bigger cities and we can still get a $3 beer around here, I think that's pretty good. So for, you know, that to me, the quality of life in this area is really, really good.
It's funny you say that. So do you guys know why all of these like trucking facilities and distribution centers are set up near us?
Because of the proximity to like 81 and 80 and
Yeah, so I believe that from like Minersville and down through the Lehigh Valley, you can reach 80% of the U.S. population within a 6-hour drive, which would be a 12-hour shift for a trucker. So 80% of the U.S. population, you have like Washington, D.C., Baltimore, Pittsburgh, Philadelphia, New York City,
Canada,
Boston, Canada, you know, you can get to like Richmond, you know, Virginia. So because of where we're located on the Northeast corridor, if there's a company out there that is looking to increase distribution, there's no better place than like Coal Town or Shamokin, Coal Township area, even down through Ranshaw, going over to Locust Gap. They're starting to put a place there. I think it's going to create 600 jobs. So one thing I will highlight on this podcast is proximity is super important. And I think that's why the coal region was thriving as well, because we had those distribution channels. So to answer that, Chad, that might be the best thing we've come up with. And by the way, how we fix it is having conversations, just like we're having. We're letting the audience in to a meeting, right? We're 3 entrepreneurs who want to create. Here. There's no script, right? Like, so we're in a meeting right now.
Dave was just sitting in my office, and we're like, yeah, hop on here.
So that's what I mean. So right there, I think proximity is super, super important. Dave, what do you think?
I would have to say the people are nice. I know from traveling to other places, you know, you go to New York, people don't make eye contact with you. I walk down the street in Shamokin, and it's not because I know people that, you know, it's people I've never met before. They look at you and they wave and they say hi or good morning. And then I've also heard that from other folks who have moved to Shamokin from other places. They say, hey, I moved here because people are nice. They want to help you. You know, if they see you are struggling, they want to help pick you up. They'll help you pick up a package or something that fell on the ground, or they'll wave hello or drop a quarter in the parking meter for you. So people are nice.
I struggled with this when I left the area. Okay. So I was on a scholarship to Monmouth University, which is right on the Jersey Shore, about 45 minutes south of New York City. I struggled when I got there because nobody would make eye contact with me when I was walking to class. And I hated it. And I actually left. And then I gave it another shot and I moved to Philadelphia, and I would be at Acme on Ridge Ave in Roxborough. And I would see, somebody would accidentally run into me with their grocery cart, and I would apologize to them because that's just what we do. I'd be like, oh, sorry. And it was their fault, right? But I couldn't understand that they wouldn't say sorry or acknowledge that near collision. So I 100% agree with you, Dave, that like the people are good people. I have another story. And people here remind me of folks in the Midwest. When I was leading in sales, we used to have a sales team in Minneapolis, Minnesota. And we couldn't understand what was happening there because every time we would call on a business owner to meet with us, they would say yes, but we weren't closing any more business. They were just too nice to tell us no, right? And that's how I feel like a lot of people are in the coal region. They're just really, really good people. Now, we would call on Philadelphia and they would tell us to F off, right? They were like, don't effing call me, right? So 100% location and people, we have that going for us. What else?
Attractions.
Attractions for sure.
I mean, attractions it's huge. We are, Shamokin particularly is, 8 miles away from Knoebels.
It's a free Disney. It's free entry to Disney World.
I don't want to talk about Disney right now.
Sorry. You could go to Knoebels for free, though, just to let you know.
I'm not saying I didn't bring it up. Again, we'll save that for another podcast. But you're right. We are extremely fortunate to have a place like Knoebels literally in our backyard. So
Little League World Series.
Mm-hmm. Little League World Series.
The Elisburg Gun Club.
You beat me to it. That's a good one. Yeah.
AOAA, what is it? Again, reiterate what AOAA is.
The Anthracite Outdoor Adventure Area.
Yep.
ATVs, Jeeps. They have the Jeep National Jamborees up there every year. They have people coming in with $80,000 trailers from New Jersey coming to the AOAA. The problem is there's no hotels.
Yeah.
But we could chop on that in a little bit.
Sure would be nice if we had a hotel.
How
Keep them in the
about
town.
how about Centralia?
That's gone, right? I mean,
It is gone.
It's been gone for a long time. But I think there's 4 houses there. Yep. But like the graffiti road.
Yeah, they
buried it.
Buried it like 2 or 3 years ago.
Can you still go there and see like the area or no?
You can still go. I mean, they kind of clamp down on trespassing, but you can still go there and wander around and see what it used to be. You see the grid layout, and it's amazing to hear the people who know about it, and also all the people who don't know about it. They think you're making it up.
Mm-hmm. How about the Susquehanna River?
That's a huge attraction. Huge attraction. I might get this wrong. 4th largest river in the country?
Sure.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
I know it's one of the oldest in the world.
Well, I know it wasn't. It might have been last year or the year before. Bassmasters Classic came into Susquehanna River Valley.
If you like to fish, it's a great river.
Get the smallmouth bass, man. Yeah. It's loaded with them.
Catfish, everything, you know.
Yeah,
Susquehanna River predates the Appalachian Mountains and was on Pangea.
He's not just good looking.
No,
he knows his stuff. This guy.
We might have to just cancel.
Just give him the podcast.
The next, it's just the 3 of us here from here on out.
Also, proximity to hospitals.
Geisinger.
We have Geisinger, fantastic.
Saved my life.
Evan, yep. I mean, so we do have wonderful hospital care in this area. Again, quality of life, I think, is fantastic.
Cost of living. Multiple universities. We have Bloomsburg University, Bucknell University, and Susquehanna University, all within 30-minute drive.
Not to mention Luzerne County Community College. Because that's where I went.
Yep.
But we do have those educational opportunities as well, and for the most part, really good school districts.
Penns Creek, best fishing in the country.
Penns Creek. Yeah,
gotcha.
It's Penns Creek. Yeah, no. So some really good trout fishing out of Penns Creek, and we do have access to a lot of great things in the area. It's been talked about for a long time, ever since our friend Andy Twigger brought it up about, putting in some hotels specifically in downtown Shamokin. And I think you can blame COVID on that one a little bit. Andy, I think, lost some of the investment regarding the hotels coming in. But, I mean, as far as I know, the plan is still there.
So I have another one for you guys that, if we want to talk plans and future, opportunities. Do we have any other location related things that we've missed?
Not yet.
Okay, we can keep going on that.
We could circle back.
I mean, we could talk about the bowling alley that's coming up.
Okay. So the other thing that, where I think there's a huge opportunity is sports tourism. So if you've traveled, to Ocean City, Maryland area, or, really anywhere in suburbia, there are these massive youth in particular sports tourism facilities that bring in literally millions and millions of dollars to local communities. And the reason why I think we would be a perfect spot for that is due to Knoebels, right? You have access to a free admission park where these kids who literally everybody thinks Johnny and Susie is going to be the next superstar. So mom and dad will travel every weekend and play baseball and basketball and flag football and field hockey and volleyball and cheerleading and all these things, right? They will travel, but then in between games, you can go ride a roller coaster, right? In between games, like you can't do that everywhere else. So, it's really, really a missed opportunity. And the other thing in the coal region is that people love to compete. We love sports. We have that blue collar attitude, and we have the space to do it. Now, the interesting thing about sports tourism is that when you go to these tournaments, they're mandatory stay and play, which means if you participate, you are required to at least pay for the hotel room, whether you want to stay there or not, right? I have friends whose parents have lived in the same town as where the tournament is being played, and they just pay the hotel and stay with their parents, right? So I'm just looking this up here. The economic impact of amateur and youth sports tourism is staggering. According to the Sports Events and Tourism Association, $39.7 billion on direct spending impact of amateur and youth sports was in 2021. So there was $39.7 billion spent on amateur and youth sports tourism. It created 635,000 jobs and tax revenue of $12.9 billion in local economies. We have the space, we have the amusement parks, we have the Little League World Series, and everything else we just mentioned. We're missing one thing. It's the hotel.
You need the hotel.
So, any big investors out there who might come across this podcast, if we don't want to wait for the government funding and you have private money, Chad, Dave, and I would be great partners to build a hotel.
We'd be happy to spend it for you.
And we'll spend it for you. What else?
Or a sports complex right there at the Kmart.
Well, look, that was something that I've always was interested in. Right there, as I say, the old Kmart. That big, giant pad that's just sitting there right off 61. Put a dome in there. I think that would be the greatest place for a sports complex. I mean, here in Northumberland, they had a sports zone that shut down, and they had, soccer games in there. And people would travel all over the place just to come to Little Northumberland to watch their kids play soccer or flag football or what have you.
It would sure be nice to have a place, a music venue too.
Well,
we had one back in the day, and we have a shirt with the coal hole on it.
Yeah.
And they had all kinds of cool bands come through, and it was a nice place. And don't get me wrong, there's places that have local guys now, but not full bands, and That was pretty cool.
So the one thing is that's missing is the hotel. We want to keep them here, right? The same reason why there's not a convention center. It could be the same thing. You could have a sports complex, convention center, theater, concert venue, right? You could have all this almost wrapped into one.
I'm sold. And let's make it happen. I mean, ideas are cheap, as they say, right? We're letting you into our meeting. We're creating momentum. Dave and I text and send each other Facebook messages about what's happening, right? And listen, you might not be seeing some of it yet, but we are creating momentum. I don't care what anybody says. We're creating momentum. And we just need a few things to fall, right? And look out. So I'm in.
I know a guy who makes hotels. He builds hotels. I know a guy. I'm not going to say who it is.
He makes hotels?
Well, he makes them, yeah. Just like a Monopoly. You make a hotel on Boardwalk.
He buys 4 houses first.
You make a hotel on Park Place.
Oh, man.
And then when you have Park Place and Boardwalk and you made hotels on these property, you're a multimillionaire.
Dude, I know. I get it.
That's how it works.
I get it.
But I know a guy. Hey, give him a call.
Let's call him
Should we
up.
Put him on the podcast right now?
Let's do it.
FaceTime him.
He's probably busy making hotels right now. But I think it's not. I think it's a necessity. It should be in this area with all the youth sports, local sports, the high school sports, college sports, all the sports. Why don't we have a venue for that to happen?
So here's the thing.
Why isn't it here?
I believe that they do. It's not feasibility studies. What's the study called before they actually like build a hotel? There's a name for it. I'm blanking on.
I think it is feasible.
Is it feasibility? Okay, so I was right. And I believe that the studies showed like 90 to 95% capacity for the summer months. And I think that the winter months were lagging. But you just throw a little water park on. If we're just making hotels, make a water park.
Make a water park.
So there's an indoor entertainment, and we could have basketball tournaments all winter, and they have to be stay and play. I don't know. Figure it out. Like, we can't just be like, oh, the feasibility study showed the winter. No, like make, as you said, just make things.
Just make them. It's easy. Poof. I don't know. What do we need to start? 50 million?
Oh, dude, I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know. I'm not. Listen, I can market it, but I'm not a builder.
Plenty of opportunity, investors. Plenty of opportunity in this area.
So here's what I'll talk about opportunity wise. So this is really important to me. You do not need a college degree in 2024 to be successful in anything outside of like medicine or, even teaching. I'm seeing that you can get like teaching certificates now in certain states. But like there are like literally thousands of remote jobs available right now. If you just look online, and I'm not saying they're easy jobs, but there are thousands of jobs where you don't need to leave our area and you can go get them, right? It could be a sales job, right? I'll do a free sales training. I don't care. It could be cybersecurity certificates. It could be, there's all of these opportunities that I think it's a mindset of like, oh, I have to drive somewhere to work because that's who I am, right?
Yeah.
We need to change our mindset a little bit, right? Like I talk to so many people that put a lid on what they're capable of. And there's no lid. Like this is how I think, right? I'm going to just throw this out there. And people they're not going to like this. They're not going to like what I say. But let's say you can communicate well with people, right? And you're trained on how to be a salesperson, okay? And you have a remote sales job that has a base salary and all these other things, right? You could go get 5 of them. You could get 5 remote sales jobs at the same time. And you could collect base salaries from all 5. And you could sell and do well for all 5. Because nobody really cares in these remote jobs if you're working from 8 to 5. They care that you actually get the job done. Right? And I meet so many people that like would never think of acting on that. And listen, I'm not saying you go do it for the same industry where they're competing against each other. But like if you have a skill set, you have a skill set, right? Like you're so good at producing content, Chad, and editing videos, right? As an entrepreneur, we would never say, oh, we're only going to work with ABC company. I'm going to be dedicated only to them. Right?
Right.
There's so many things you can do in your life. Like why are we limiting ourselves? Like, I don't care if you live in like, do you think of somebody who lives on Wall Street? It's like, oh, this is what they look like. This is how they act. Like, who cares? Just go kill it. Go crush it. Like, right. I don't know why we're putting limits on ourselves. Sorry. That's my little rant.
Well, Dave and I just talked about this earlier today about, other people recommending what,
niching down.
What niching down should be, and you got to find your niche and stuff. I'm like, well, they're not creators, the people that say that. I think we might be able to help other people find their niche, and I hate the word niche, but here we are.
But here's my point, right? Right now, the 3 of us, we could help somebody take an idea to reality, right? We would start with Dave, just the 3 of us. Dave would create a brand, right? You would create content, and I would market the heck out of it.
There you go.
And you can be anywhere. I don't care if you're in a hole in Alaska.
Yeah.
We will make people find you.
Yes.
and we will make something that they remember. And like, go get it. Like, I don't understand what we're doing. You know, my mind doesn't work like that. I hate that, like, woe is me, I'm trapped in this town, or this town is like, the big buzzword is, if you Google Shamokin, that it's the poorest town in the state. That's now like did you guys hear that or see that online?
Yeah, I saw like a TikTok or something.
That actually pisses me off.
Yeah.
It pisses me off. Like, I get offended by that. And because, like, I live in Paxinus, right? If you come out of my house, you make a right, you're on 61 at Dordox. That's my town, even though I don't live in it. I go there to the pharmacy. I go there to get my coffee. I go there to coach sports, right? It pisses me off. Like, how do you not get pissed off about that?
Yeah, it pisses me off too.
Like there's a chip on our shoulder. Like, we got to be like, really, us? That's us. No. Like, that's not what I want Google to say about us. Like, that's a slap in your face. That's like you saying that, like, your family's trash, right? I'm getting fired up right now.
Well, let it rip, Lauer.
So, like, no, but I'm serious.
Yeah,
like, how do we not take pride in that? Like, we're on Google as literally the freaking poorest town in the state.
Well,
Us.
you'll hear people say it is what it is.
Yeah,
people say it is what it is. There's nothing you can do. We're not going to raise taxes. The heads will roll. Heads will roll if we raise taxes.
Dude, I'm fired up. My family's from the Locust Gap. My mom's from the Gap. My dad, I grew up on Fern. You guys know what I just said. Like, my whole family is from this area. My family still lives there. Like, it pisses me off.
Yeah.
Fired up. Let's go.
Okay. Start laying the turf.
So yeah, but like my point is, like, it's all a mindset.
Yeah, of course.
I'm no different than anybody else that's still there, like, saying like this, and like it's a mindset. That's all it is. I'm reading the book Think and Grow Rich right now. Like, it's not about making money. The book's not about that at all. But it's literally that you become what you think about the most. You become what you think about the most. Your subconscious believes what you tell it. If you're shooting a foul shot and you're telling yourself you're going to miss, you're going to freaking miss it on the biggest part of it.
Same thing with a 3-foot putt.
Exactly. But if you're sitting there thinking, like, this is in, it's in, right? Every time. They did a study on this book, and it was written in 1937. And essentially they had 10 basketball players practice shooting foul shots for, like, I forget the exact amount, say a month. They had 10 not practice and not do anything. And they had 10 not practice and visualize making 10 every day. Which group do you think did the best when they actually tested the results?
Is it the ones that visualized?
Yeah, it was the people who actually believed in themselves. Like, and some people will say I'm arrogant, or some people will say I'm cocky, or some people will say that, like, you know, it's crazy, but like,
believe in yourself.
Like, come on, like let's go. You know, I'm pissed off again. Sorry.
It's moving mountains, man. I mean, that's what it is. It's like moving mountains.
Well, it comes down to marketing again. How do you rebrand Shamokin to not make them think that they're the poorest city? They think it and they believe it.
I have an idea.
I tell you, here's something. Here's something. If we want to go.
I want to go, dude. I'm ready.
You know what people believe in? People believe in the underdog. Mm-hmm. People always root for the underdog. So guess what, friends? Shamokin is the poorest city in the state. Who's the underdog?
Let's go.
A Shamokin.
Dude.
So root for the underdog. People get behind you. And, you know, it's always like this ho-hum thing about Shamokin. But listen, there are people that are super proud of where they came from. No matter where you go, if you strike up a conversation with somebody in Alabama, I guarantee you they know somebody from the coal region.
Going back
I guarantee
Shamokin Shirt Company, sales are in probably 23 different states because people found it through Facebook and they said, hey, I went to Shamokin. Yeah. I cruised town, you know, and they buy the shirts and they send them to their relatives in Texas or Hawaii or Florida.
Yep. People are super proud of this area. So it's not everybody. It's always the most negative people that are the loudest, no doubt about it. But if we are going to call ourselves the underdog, which we are, let's do something about it. Because everybody roots for the underdog.
Dude, so this is why I connected with the city of Philadelphia so much. Like, I loved living in Philadelphia because they are that. I don't know if you guys are Eagles fans, but when I say we, I'm a season ticket holder. I say we. When we
He's rubbing it in our face.
won the Super Bowl, I was at the Minnesota Vikings game and all those games leading up to that. And guess what the Eagles came out wearing? Dog masks.
Oh, right.
They wore dog masks, and it went viral, and it was crazy because this is a blue-collar city.
Yeah.
We're playing the rich asses from San Francisco, right? Like, that's the way they think about it.
Yeah.
And they took that and ran with it, right? So how about this? I'll put my money where my mouth is.
Oh.
All right. There
Okay.
are billboards.
Go
There
ahead.
are billboards leading into Shamokin on Route 61 from both ends, and they're empty right now. So I will invest in those billboards for whoever does that, Lamar, and we're gonna create a slogan line for the town of Shamokin.
Dave will create the billboard.
Dave's gonna create the
You're going to create the billboard.
I will buy the billboards.
Go ahead.
And we're gonna put a little Lauer light bulb on there, just a little subtle Lauer thing, so it can be a business expense, and it's gonna be the light bulb. Okay, and that light bulb is shining a light on Shamokin, and we're gonna create a slogan line, and maybe it's what Chad said, it's underdogs, but every freaking person that drives into town for this period is gonna see our billboards. Okay,
Let's go.
And in their mind,
Here he goes.
when they're driving, I'm not shutting up. In their mind, when they drive into town, their mindset's gonna change. Go ahead, sorry.
Thank you. I'm just saying, I would like to go halfers on the billboard and have a little logo of Chad on there. Is that a possibility, or do you want to do it all?
Your face or your
No.
Stone State? So Stone State Lauer Media.
Yeah.
And then Dave will we can have all three on there.
All three. We'll go
listen,
thirds. How much is this?
There won't, I don't know.
I'm going to Disney.
No, listen, you guys know which ones I mean, right? So they are like, they're Lamar. I know what they are. They're Lamar billboards, and they're like it's like, call me. I'm the salesman for the Lamar billboards. But from like past
I
monsters.
have an idea.
Hit me with it.
We'll talk about it afterwards. But I think a slogan, and I have a domain name. It's Why Not Shamokin.
I'm in.
WhyNotShamokin.com. Hashtag it Why Not Shamokin.
Yeah. I like that. Or underdogs, like whatever it is, you know? So underdogs. I'm in. But my point is
the old Rocky story.
To Dave's point, right? Like we want that to be what they think about. What else? What other ideas?
I'm exhausted. Hey, that Think and Grow Rich book, are you almost done with it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Can I borrow it? I have a fairly long train ride coming up.
No, oh, you're going on the train. Dude, listen,
yeah.
I've considered the train. I'm not trying to wig you out a little bit, but what happens if you want to get off?
I think you can.
The train leaves without you?
The train doesn't stop.
Why would I want to get off?
Yeah, I guess you wouldn't.
Why would I?
I guess you wouldn't.
Come on.
But why the train and not a plane?
Because, Chad, it is easier to put the van on the choo-choo train.
Ah, okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then you put the van on the choo-choo train, and all your stuff's in the van, and you don't have to, worrying about rentals and stuff like that.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
How much is that billboard?
I don't know. We're gonna have to get in touch.
I bet it's less than the train.
Yeah. Well, listen, I think we're gonna have some negotiating power because they've all been empty. So we'll offer them a bundle. I mean, literally, there hasn't been an ad on them for since I moved back a year and a half ago.
Let's do it.
Yeah, I'm in.
Okay.
All right. So that's one idea.
So now we got some momentum.
Here's the deal, right? We're gonna act on our ideas though. So whoever we're letting people into our meeting, okay, we're gonna act on our ideas,
okay,
so that we fuel momentum for others to act on their ideas. Right?
Okay.
Because we can't do this alone. Right? We can galvanize the troops, but we can do what we do well, which is create and promote. That's all we do. Okay, that's what we're experts at. I'm not a guy that can go in to fix a building. It's not my skill set. I can't fix a doorknob.
Oh, come on.
Dude, I don't want to. Right? I'll be honest. I'm very comfortable in my lane. I'm not going to go in and fix a building, but I can help people who do that really well.
Okay. Well, that's fair. So, yeah, that's your lane.
Exactly.
I can strap on a tool belt.
I have to fix a tire later.
Yeah, Dave has to fix a tire later on.
I'm out. I'm just telling you.
All right, you're going to call Lamar?
I'll call him today. Yeah. I actually am dead serious. Like, I'm excited about this.
Okay.
So today we're going to inquire, after today, we're going to inquire about the bowling alley, and we're going to inquire about Lamar.
Okay. And then we're going to acquire investors
For a hotel. Yeah. And
well,
listen,
Twigger's on it.
Well,
Andy Twigger's on it. Is he?
Just more investors. I think, yeah. Why not more?
How much do I need to? I got $20. I'll start there. What?
Listen, I am not a patient person.
We understand.
Like, at all.
I know.
So, like, I don't care. Like, I don't know what people are planning or what's happening or any of that stuff. But, like, I am not a patient person. So, like, if there's an opportunity there are people willing to do it, like, now. Like, I don't need to wait 5 years. I'm serious. Like, I can't wait 5 years. So, like, we're going to start talking to people about getting a hotel, like, immediately. Like, we're not going to be like, oh, yeah, this is a plan. No, like, we'll be dead. Like, let's do it now. And let's galvanize the right people now. And let's find funding now. Right?
Yeah.
And we don't have to follow rules. We're private business people, you know? There's no.
I like that.
Yeah,
well, we have to follow rules.
But I'm like saying we don't have to wait for like ABC needs to be done because this government funding is going to take 5 years. Like, there are people that are looking to invest in communities and businesses every day in the private world, and they know they're going to strike out on 1 in 100. I mean, they're going to hit 1 in 100. They're going to strike out on 99 out of 100. Right? Mm-hmm. We need to find those people. We can't wait anymore.
I have the billboard in my head.
Oh, I love it.
Let's go.
You know what it is?
Hit us with it.
Underdogs. ... Embrace it. Embrace the underdogs.
WhyNotShamokin.com.
WhyNotShamokin.com. Bang! There you go.
Done.
Hurry up before someone steals it.
Dude, get Lamar on the phone now.
I don't know.
I don't have their number.
That'd be funny. I got to patch him in. I should patch him into the board. Should I patch it in?
Dude, that'd be really funny.
That would be really funny if we called him right now.
I'm in.
Can we do that?
Yes,
We'd be recording their voice. That's illegal.
No, we just have to tell them ahead of time. Do it. Let's do it.
I don't have the hookup.
I'll talk.
You're going to talk?
I'll call him.
Okay, hang on a second. Hang on. Let me find...
I'll look up their number quick while you do that.
Okay, hang on. Dave, tell everybody about our murder mysteries.
This is a great time to promote, Dave. Come on.
So Chad is the leader of the Stone State Murder Mystery, and we do about 10 shows a year with an original story every time. There's 8 to 10 actors in it.
Great.
And it's a good time. You will be entertained, that is for sure. You will go home and you will say, that was different. For sure. Yeah, that's our slogan. That was different. So when you see the advertisements coming in the fall time, be sure to grab a ticket quick because they go fast. We get a big crowd, that is for sure. And it's at your favorite establishment in the area.
Oh, you know what?
What?
Oh, I don't have my adapter thingy.
Son of a gun.
All right, we can wrap it up, guys. I'm sorry.
He gets excited.
All right.
Here, let's leave people on a cliffhanger here. You know, and be like, hey, keep your eyes open for a billboard. See if this sales transaction went through.
This might have been the best podcast. Yeah. So literally, we've done all these serious podcasts. I love that people got to see like adversity as motivation. Like, we're not all doom and gloom. For the most part, we're like this, you know, and I think people need to realize that. So Chad, thanks for talking me into just doing a lighthearted podcast.
Yeah,
brother.
just jumping in the pool, baby.
Yeah, it was great.
Thanks for having me on. This is wild and fun.
Deal. I want to do live cold calls. So we're going to start doing live cold calls. I'll share with the audience how to sell, how to do a cold call. I'm not scared. I love it.
Well, to the next episode. Maybe by the next episode, we might, who knows, have a billboard. Hey, that was fun. Thanks.
Are you a business owner, a leader, or an aspiring achiever looking to turn life's challenges into powerful fuel for your success? You've come to the right place. Get ready to unlock the secrets to turning life's hardships into your most powerful ally. Your hosts, along with our incredible guests, will help you tap into your own Lauer power